Hiya. Right. This was a piece of paper that I got in America, and I was left in a house on my own for 3 weeks. And there was a view. Sorry, Mick thought that he'd have some spare time. What are you doing? He thought he'd have some spare time while I went out to visit him quite a few years ago, and he didn't. So I was chasing squirrels with my camera and looking for stuff to do. So I got some paper. It wasn't watercolour paper at all. Stop being distracting, Mick. And it was Lake Hartwell in North, no, Georgia. No, what side of Georgia? North Georgia. So we're right, North Georgia. Right, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, it, as I say, it weren't watercolour paper, and I tried to wishy-washy it out a bit because what I was doing here was totally experimental, and the paper started falling to pieces. So I put some watercolour ground on. It's a bit like gesso, but for watercolourists. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I put some of that on and then burnished it with the back of my fingernail to sort of flatten the nap of the paper back down and all the little beading and bobbles that came up, and to sort of fill the chunking that came out. And that's actually sellotape, well, not sellotape, masking tape from all them years ago. So it were giving up the ghost. I ended up pinning it down with some better stuff, but that's left marks. So I was trying to do a drippy, hardly any detail, drippy type of painting, and I like really loose wet in wet, and I failed miserably. And then that piece of material under her right eye, as you're looking at it, started looking a bit okay. So I went in, I just thought, oh, I wonder what coloured pencils would look like over the top of watercolour. So I had to go with some coloured pencils over the top, and it started really looking like shiny materials. So me being me, I ended up then trying to make a decent picture out of a slapdashy type thing. And because this scarf was in a lot of different segments, I tried to do certain parts of it in different ways. I did a lot of pencil work down this side that I'm just doing now, to see if we could put watercolour over the top and have all them shadows show through. And I was going to leave some that was just purely pencil, but it looked too odd. I've left that drip, not the one running down from her nose, because that isn't, corner of her eye down side of her nose, that isn't as obvious on the finished one, but the one further along, like coming from the outer corner of her eye, I left that drip there for what it was supposed to be, because as I say, it's a test of different techniques. I did shadows in watercolour, let it dry, then did wet on wet on top of dry shadows. I did wet in wet and then touched it up and then put shadows on top. I did wet on wet, let it dry, then wet and wet again. Wet on wet with a bit of touching up, and then coloured pencil, and then the wet on wet top left has got pencil over the top of it, just normal pencil, not coloured pencil, graphite. Indian ink, which is what I'm doing now, very wishy-washy Indian ink. Back on with watercolour now. It's barely black. I mean, the background's done out the same bit of ink. It was some that I had waste, put it in a little bottle. It's proper watered down. The background's probably got about 10 coats of it on, so it's really wishy-washy. her hair looks a bit weird. I'm not sure whether the photographer hit on an happy accident and knew what he was doing with the scarf as well, because crikey is it a challenge to do. You can't tell what's pattern and what's shadow. This is the coloured pencil bit. I enjoyed doing that bit. I got a bit frustrated with creases and losing my place on which crease I were concentrating on. If you're doing anything like this, like butterflies, you know, that have repetitive dots and you can't work out which dot you're on, or creases and you can't work out which crease you're on, if you get a piece of masking tape and very carefully stick it to, I mean only lightly touch it to the tablet screen or phone screen or whatever you're copying off, it makes your eyes go to, you know, have the piece of tape underneath the bit that you're doing, and then you know that just above is the bit that you're meant to be concentrating on. It stops your eyes from flicking round and you ending up on the wrong bit, and it just helps a lot. Right, here I'm removing the glue, the dried up glue off the tape. Did that make sense, mate? What? Right. Is that your contribution to every video? That was how thin the Indian ink is. I didn't use any stronger than that. I just kept going over and over and over it. The trouble is it's so small I can't really see what I'm doing. That bit that I'm messing with there, I left that really faint because I really liked it, but I tried to make the whole picture look, what's the word, not like made up of bits and bobs and different techniques. I wanted it all to look interesting, pleasing, and not like, I don't know the word. Come on, you're the word man. Cohesive. Right, apparently I wanted it to look cohesive. But as I say, with all these different techniques and mediums, that big round piece of scarf, bottom right hand swoop, I think I did that last. That thoroughly annoyed me. I couldn't tell at all where shadows were on it properly. It was a nightmare to do. Yeah, I'm doing light bit over it. Oh, and I also laid single colours down as well instead of mixing like I were doing with the acrylics on the butterfly. Rather than doing any mixing in some places, I was just doing it, you know, a red wash, pink wash, blue wash, green wash. I enjoyed doing her eyes. I did them in a lot of different stages. When I get a bit more confident about what I'm doing, and I don't have to spend ages thinking about the next step on it, that bit there, that really did me. That segment of scarf. I'll have to try and I don't know, do a lesson. I don't know the proper words. I mean, if you can understand what I'm trying to get at, let me know, and you know, I mean, I'll share what I'm learning with you if anybody's interested in maybe, you know, coming along on the journey themselves. It was a challenge. I enjoyed it. I haven't done any apart from that rose. I am really, oh crikey, why am I always right surprised? Oh shut up, it's my accent. I'm not talking like that because it makes you sound like a right wally. Oh yeah, this is the guy's photo of Paint My Picture. Photo. Paint My... Is it Paint My Photo? Mick managed to get me on there, and I sort of know how to search-ish. Well, I sort of blunder into things. But yeah, we put in the pictures on there that obviously I'm using because I need some reference photos for some things. That bit, I love that bit there. I really like that bit. And I like her eyes as well. Oh, look. Ta-da! I like her eyes as well. Did a lot on her eyes. But I didn't want to go too much that it made her skin look too undone. And that drip and everything, I wanted to honour what I started out with. Oh, and I cocked her eyebrow up as well because I wanted to say, you think so, do you? You know, that I can do this drippy technique and wet in wet. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.